Well, there's certainly a heat wave here in Southern California. The Halos have dropped the first two to the Tampa Bay Rays in this three-game set and trying to salvage the finale here this afternoon from the Big A. Hi, everyone, from inside the Big A. I'm Victor Rojas along with Mark Gubiza. Glad you could join us once again for Angels baseball. Well, last night, prior to the game, we were talking about Howie Kendrick, how good he has been going offensively. There's another guy that's been swinging the bat very well in the month of August. That's Hideki Matsui.
Well, he's got a 9-game hit streak going, Victor. We saw that his approach looked closer to the plate, better plate coverage for him, and that's why he's driving the ball so well during this 9-game hit streak in which he's hitting .471 with 2 home runs, and he's got 8 RBI also, 20 career home runs against Tampa. So look for him to drive the ball early and get some runs across and let Dan Herron be able to relax and get the W.
Well, speaking of runs coming across, Dan Herron will have his hands full the first 2 nights. The Angels have fallen into big deficits, have not been able to climb out, so he'll have his hands full, I should say, against a very tough lineup in the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, he's definitely a strike thrower, Victor, no question about it. He works down in the strike zone around 89 to 91 mile an hour. His out pitch, that split finger fastball. He needs to get ahead of the hitters early on and then finish them off with that splitter. They're very good, Tampa is, as far as hitting that fastball. Jeff Neiman coming back from that strain on his shoulder, a 10-game winner, 91 to 96 on his fastball. Pretty good slider, curveball, changeup combo. Been able to pitch deeper into ball games this year and a pitch to contact guy.
Well, you see the numbers for Jeff Neiman in his sophomore year, 10-3 with that 3.12 ERA, while Dan Herron is going after his second win as a member of the Angels organization. The Halos 10 games back in the American League West at the start of the day today, while the Rays are tied for first with the New York Yankees in the American League East. Looking for that final game here against the Rays. Sit back and relax. We got lineups at first pitch when we return. Official superstores of Angels baseball. Nobody beats Howard's. Buy the all-new 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealers today. And buy Shakey's Pizza. Who was the last American League player to win the Triple Crown in 1967? Well, go to Shakey's.com/trivia for the answer. No doubt a gorgeous day down on the water. Gorgeous day here in Southern California in general. As we get you ready for the third and final game here between the Rays and the Halos. It is a warm and muggy day here in Southern California. Take a look at the Hyundai keys to the game.
Well, the big thing is take that early lead. The Rays have done that the first two games, taking that, establishing a 4-0 lead against the Angels. It's going to be important for Dan Herron to throw up at 0 first inning and get the offense rolling for Mike Scioscia and the boys to get that lead and keep it through the rest of the ball game.
Well, Dan Herron getting his warm-up tosses in. We'll take a look at Joe Maddon's starting lineup. They come into this one 30 games, over 500, 78 and 48, tied for first in the American League East. John Jaso batting leadoff for the second consecutive game. He's the catcher. Ben Zobrist at second. Carl Crawford at left. Evan Longoria, the third baseman. Carlos Pena, DH. Matt Joyce, his second consecutive start in right. Dan Johnson was the DH last night. He's the first baseman today. B.J. Upton at center, and Reed Brignac getting the start at shortstop. Jason Bartlett, who started the first two games of the series, gets the afternoon off. That's starting 9, facing Dan Herron, who's got a 1-4 market. Coming off a tough outing the last time out.
Well, hasn't got a lot of run support. That's the big thing for him. But he's got to forget about that. He's got to go out there and challenge the strike zone, and of course, finish off the batters with that great split finger. Only 5 walks, 27 strikeouts as a member of the Angels pitching staff.
Well, I mentioned that tough outing in which Herron got knocked around at Target Field. That was against the Twins. 7 earned runs in 7 innings. He did stick around and soaked up some innings for that bullpen. And the first pitch here is upstairs for ball 1. 7th start as a member of the Angels. You see the numbers on Jaso. Ended up having a 2-for-4 night. Swings here high and deep to right field. And the Rays are up 1-0. Well, 2 nights ago, B.J. Upton hit the very first pitch of the game for a home run, a solo job to start this game off. This afternoon on the second pitch, John Jaso picks up his 4th home run of the year.
Well, that leadoff hitter in all 3 games has been a difficult task for Angel pitchers against the Rays. 2 home runs and a single. Hits down in the strike zone, that uppercut swing. Anytime you hit a ball in the air in the daytime here at the Big A, it's got a good chance of getting out, and that's what happened.
The 119th home run that the Rays have hit this year. First career leadoff home run for John Jaso. And Ben Zobrist takes a strike. Zobrist hitting .257 with 7 home runs and 57 runs batted in. He batted second and played second base last night. Lays off the splitter, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Zobrist ended the game going 1 for 3. Had a base hit in the 7th inning. Had a sac fly, picking up that 57th RBI. Off-speed pitch in there, and it's 1-2 now. Rays in the end of their 7-game road trip. They are 4-2 thus far through Oakland and the first 2 games here in California, Southern California. Zobrist swings there. He is retired for the first time. They head home after this ball game. Defensively behind Dan Herron, you've got Bobby Abreu in left, Reggie Willits in center, and Torrey Hunter in right. Alberto Callasco at third. Brandon Wood gets a start at shortstop. Howie Kendrick at second. Mike Napoli at first. With Jeff Mathis back behind the plate.
And you mentioned Brandon Wood getting that start at shortstop. Drafted in the first round as a shortstop. Throughout the minor league career, played a lot of shortstop, was moved over to third.
Crawford off the body of Herron. He's going to have to hurry, and they get the out at first. Now the question is, where did that ball hit Herron? Well, he's going to be all right.
What, I remember that time he got hit with Kevin Youkilis with a line drive up the middle. Again, when you throw a lot of split finger fastballs or fastballs down in the zone, you're going to get a lot of line drives up the middle. Looked like he got him on the back of the leg. Good play, though. Good recovery.
Back of the leg, perhaps the calf area. Appears to be all right. No visit out by Mike Scioscia or Ned Burgert, the head trainer. So 2 outs, 1-0 Rays here in the first inning. Leadoff home run by Jaso, and Evan Longoria will lead. Step into the box here, the third baseman. Had a big game last night. Going 3 for 5, single, a double, a home run, and 2 RBIs. And even with the big game, deciding to pull the pant legs up and show some stirrup socks. Going old school. Waves at that one. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Very Alex Rodriguez-like.
Yeah, he probably likes to go the high stirrups up on day games himself.
0-2's down low. Although those are legit stirrup socks.
With the stripes going, yeah.
With the stripes. A lot of times guys wear those socks that are painted with the painted stripes on them. Those are stirrups. 0-2. On the ground over to third. Callaspo's got it. And Herron gets out of it after giving up the home run to John Jaso, but has been the theme of the first 2 games of this series. As we head to the bottom of the first, Angels trail it. It's 1-0 Rays. Jason with his 4th home run of the year. Mike Scioscia this afternoon has his ball club at 3 games under 500, 62 and 65, 10 back in the American League West. Has Bobby Abreu leading things off in left field. Howie Kendrick at second. Alberto Callaspo at third. Torrey Hunter in right field. Hideki Matsui is at DH. A season-high 9-game hitting streak. So the top 5 are pretty much the same over the last couple of games. Mike Napoli gets to start at first. Reggie Willits in center. It's Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and Brandon Wood batting ninth and playing shortstop. Facing the big right-hander out of Rice University by the name of Jeff Neiman.
10-game winner, 102 punch-outs, and 141 in a third innings pitched, 91 to 96. Generally stays around that 91-92 range with sink action on the fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Tries to work down in the strike zone. A tall pitcher. His key is working down and keeping his good mechanics over the pitching rubber.
Well, just like last night, Wade Davis coming off the disabled list and stuck around long enough to pitch into the 6th inning, pick up the victory, his 10th of the year. Neiman also coming off the disabled list to make this start. Placed on there on August the 4th due to a shoulder strain. 27 years of age, had a very good rookie season last year. As Bobby is ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Oh for 6 in this series is Abreu's average is down to 261. 15 bombs, 66 RBIs. Upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes.
A chance you can see Bobby take at least 1 or 2 pitches to try to get on base right away. Even not real fast to the plate also, so the running game should be in effect for the Angels today.
That's down low, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Leadoff man is on board. Defensively behind Neiman this afternoon, Crawford, Upton, and Joyce from left to right. In the infield, you've got Longoria and Brignac on the left side, Zobrist and Johnson on the right, with Jaso doing the catching.
Henry Brignac getting that start at shortstop. Jason Bartlett getting the day off, very solid himself defensively. He played a lot of second base, but also has those soft hands to be able to play consistent shortstop.
He's also a guy that if you're the Tampa Bay Rays, probably look at from a long-term standpoint. Is he the guy that's going to fill the void? Should you not retain Jason Bartlett? Howie Kendrick takes a strike. As good as Jason has been for the Rays over the last couple of years with Tampa Bay, just with a lot of those mid-market teams, the finances come into it. And there's an opportunity for Bartlett, even though he's having a down year, to make a lot of money going into arbitration. Brignac might be that guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're a fan of the Rays, so many good young players, the guys that you're accustomed to seeing, like a Carl Crawford or Carlos Pena, all might be gone. It's because they're not going to be able to keep them all. That's why it's so important to have a great scouting system and player development, is to keep bringing along those good young players to be able to supplement them.
Carl Crawford, a free agent to beat. Carlos Pena, the same thing. Bobby's got a very big lead over at first base. He goes. The 1-1 pitch is cut on and missed. The throw down from Jaso is not in time. But still a base for Abreu. So here at the bottom of the first inning, a man in scoring position. 17th stolen base by Abreu this year.
He got a real good jump also, and a pretty decent pitch to be able to throw for Jaso. It was high. Now he swung through it enough to be a distraction. Now 13 stolen bases allowed against Neiman. Only one would be base there has been thrown out. So 6'9", not particularly quick to the plate.
Quick meeting in front of the mound. Jaso talks things over with Neiman, and now Zobrist, the second baseman, wants to come in. Make sure that middle infielders are on the same page as far as the signs. They will periodically peek in to see what's going on and talk about the coverage at second base. Who's going to keep Abreu close to the bag? So man in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 to Howie. He fouls this one off to the right. And the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
So it's not a bad idea if you're a middle infielder looking in to see what type of pitch you're going to be throwing. If it's a fastball, you might be more apt to play up the middle, off speed, go more towards the hole, whether it's second or short.
On a ground toward the hole. It's going to be a tough play for Brignac. Off the throw. Patrick is safe at first base, and infield base hit. Not much Brignac could do, considering the fact that he was shading Howie more toward the middle. Had a long run to his right.
Well, that's a lot closer than anticipated. Howie getting down the line well. Brignac made a very good play on the run. It's a strong, accurate throw.
Well, Joe Madden is giving Angel Campos an earful. Remember, it was Angel Campos, it was the second base umpire last night who ejected Madden. Campos over at first base.
That was real close.
Very close.
Got him.
So 2 on, nobody out for Alberto Callaspo, who shows bunt, takes upstairs for ball 1. Callaspo hitting .288, 9 home runs, 53 runs batted in. He did have a hit last night, going 1 for 4 before being lifted for a pinch hitter. Showing bunt again, and he's ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Neiman here in the early going. Trying to find a strike zone. 11 pitches, 7 balls, 4 strikes.
A lot of pitches up in the strike zone also. Even that one pitch that Howie swung and missed on the steal by Abreu was up in the strike zone.
Jim Hickey is going to go out there, talk things over. And you mentioned the height of Neiman. It is always a challenge for a big, tall pitcher to find that right balance point, to get that downhill motion, being able to throw downhill and throw strikes.
Yeah, if you're quick, your front leg is already landing. Very difficult to be able to get that arm angle up in time to be able to be down in the strike zone. A tough time as far as getting the pitches around knee level. A couple breaking pitches have been pretty solid for him, but the fastball has not been.
Kayaspo drops a bunt on the third base side. Nice block. Flips over to Zobrist, who's covering. A beautiful sacrifice there. Advances Abreu to third and Kendrick to second.
And here's your chance right away to respond and take that early lead in the ballgame, getting a base hit if you're Torrey Hunter here. Great job by Kayaspo, just playing catch with that baseball bat, putting down the third base line, forcing the third baseman Longoria to field the ball. That way you have no chance of making a play at third base.
Braves playing their infield back. They'll exchange the run for the out. Torrey last night 1 for 4. Had a double in the second inning. Scored one of the runs. Takes a breaking pitch in for a strike. His overall average at 289, 18 home runs, 70 runs batted in. That double last night in the second inning, his only hit of the series, 1 for 8. That's up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, B.J. Upton doesn't vary between a day game and a night game in center field. Still playing extremely shallow. The baseball carries during the day here. Could be an adventure for him.
That one got Torrey on the hand. And the bases are loaded. Hideki Matsui, 9-game hitting streak coming up here. With 1 out, Halos down a 1-0. And he's got Abreu at third, Kendrick at second, and Hunter now at first base.
Also got him right on the fingers. If you're a hitter, you're making an attempt to swing. It ends up being a strike. But Howards will show it. Got him right around the hand area. Got him square also. No attempt to swing at that one.
Last 2 plate appearances for Torrey Hunter hit by pitches. Got a breaking ball in the back from Andy Sonnenstein last night. Matsui's average of 262 with 16 home runs, 66 RBIs. He rips this one into right field. That's going to go for extra bases. Abreu will score, as will Kendrick. Torrey Hunter is being waved home as the throw goes to second. 3 RBIs on the double, and the Halos are up 3-1.
Well, now a 10-game hit streak for Matsui. Great swing on that one. Took advantage of a mistake by Neiman. A great job by Torrey Hunter to be able to score on that one. Dino Evil recognized the throw was being thrown in away from the cutoff man. Took that advantage. Looked like he was initially going to stop him. A fastball up. Turns on it. Matsui just continues to swing well because he's made that adjustment, getting closer to the plate. Better plate coverage.
And Hideki now 1 run batted in behind Torrey Hunter for the team lead. 69 RBIs. Still 1 out, a man in scoring position here for Mike Napoli. Napoli takes upstairs, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Matsui picking up his 21st his 21st double of the year. Napoli hitting .248 with 20 home runs and 54 runs batted in. As he takes a breaking ball that drops in there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the Halos in this series had been struggling with men in scoring position. Heck, even for the entire month coming into this game. 193 in those situations. 2 for 25 in the first 2 games, but today already 2 for 2 as Napoli hits one out toward deep left field. Crawford's not going to get this one. That's going to one-hop the fence. Matsui jogs home. It is 4-1. Angels back-to-back doubles by Matsui and Napoli.
Turned the tables on the Rays in the first inning. Instead of being behind 4-1, 4-0, now the Angels up 4-1. Another bad pitch, another pitch up in the strike zone. Whether Neiman's feeling comfortable on the mound coming back from that shoulder strain or not, but a lot of pitches elevated. Very good pitch to drive, and Napoli got his hands up and drove that ball hard to left center field.
So Reggie Willits will step in now and make that 3 for 3 with men in scoring position today. Napoli is 19th doubled, his 55th RBI. And Reggie takes a strike. Reggie got in the game last night as a pinch hitter. In the ninth inning, picked up a base hit, hitting .291. Getting to start out in center field with Peter Borges on the bench. That's down and in. It gets away from Jason. Napoli will advance on the wild pitch.
Only 21 pitches already in this first inning for him, and 11 out of the strike zone, only 10 strikes. Got to take advantage of this right now. Just keep piling on the runs.
Infield in now for Tampa Bay. The only out of the inning, a sacrifice bunt by Alberto Callaspo. Squeeze play. Reggie bunts it. It's foul. Napoli will head back to third base.
And that's not easy to do with a left-handed batter up to put the squeeze on, but it would have worked. They just missed the bunt.
Ball bouncing up and hitting the body of Reggie.
Carl Crawford playing pretty deep in left field, too. Fly ball to him or definitely get Mike Napoli in.
Reggie goes down swinging. There's out number 2. So that'll bring up Jeff Mathis with 2 outs and a man at third base. Jeff was behind the plate in Monday's game. Ended up going 0 for 3. His average of 196, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Neiman still from the stretch as he blows that fastball right by Mathis. And it's no balls and a strike. I mentioned earlier that Neiman had gone on the disabled list on August the 4th. It was the day after he picked up the win against the Twins, giving up 3 earned runs in 7 innings. Threw 104 pitches in that game. Bunt up the third base line is foul. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
That's pretty amazing, though. They go 7 innings, then they go 3 runs, and they go on the disabled list.
His shoulder strain. Yep. First time he's been on the major league disabled list. He's had some problems down in the minor leagues.
Exactly. He was a big draft pick out of Rice, and the big thing, he had some health issues right away in the minor leagues for the Rays.
That Rice University team had some arms and 3 picks in the top 8 as Mathis rolls this one over to Longoria. He'll be retired for the 3rd out, but the Halos drop a 4 spot here on the Rays in the bottom of the 1st inning. Matsui and Napoli with back-to-back doubles. Angels lead it 4-1.
here in the last, especially in the last month, of trying to get it going. But they come out here and they work hard and they play hard, and I think it's going to eventually translate into wins. It's just we need it now, and we'll see if these guys are going to get into their game. It's not even a matter of being superhuman. Get into your game and play it, and we have a lot of confidence.
Mike Scioscia talking to Jocelyn Pierce before the game, and it has been a struggle for this ball club in the month of August. Trying to get things going, now falling back to 10 games in the American League West. First time they've been that far back since 2003. But yeah, you hate to be cliche-ish, but it is one game at a time at this point. As Dan Herron delivers a strike here. Carlos Pena to start at the top of the second.
Mike Scioscia always has preached that one game at a time. I think that's what the reality is right now for this club, is put together a full, consistent 9 innings and win one game and then go from there. It's been a while since they put all 3 phases together in one game. Hitting, the pitching, and the defense.
Pena out to left. Abreu is there, and there is the first down of the inning. And it really has been spread about. I mean, from April on through last night's game, there's not one facet of the game in which you can sit there and point the finger and say, all right, this is the culprit right here. The bullpen's been horrible all year long. That hasn't been the case. They've had their problems. They've also had some very good games. The starters early on in the year had some struggles, are struggling a little bit here of late. And we've talked about the inconsistencies of the offense. The thing is that this team has really not been able to piece it together for a short burst. They had that one run right after the Kendrick Morales injury, in which they went on that 2-week road trip, ended up going 11-3. And aside from that one run, there really hasn't been in that 4, 5, 6 game winning streak. Nothing huge. We're not talking 10-12, but something meaningful that you can continue to build on.
And the reason why is because, like you mentioned, it hasn't been the starting pitchers haven't been going on a roll like that, or the bullpen, or the offense, or getting that hit with the guy in scoring position too often. So you wonder, is there enough time to do that? Well, there certainly is. After this game, you got Baltimore coming in this week, and yes, they've been playing well, but there's a team that if you put all your phases of your game together, you could put together 2, 3, 4 game win streak and all of a sudden make the Rangers worry a little bit.
Joyce takes upstairs. There's a walk, first issued by Dan Herron. Comes with one out here in the second. Dan Johnson, the first baseman, will step to the plate. Is it disheartening, do you think, for the guys in that clubhouse, having gone through the last 2 weeks, watching Texas struggle with injuries and inconsistent play, even their ace getting knocked around a little bit in Baltimore, to not having been able to make up ground during that stretch?
No doubt. When you're in that clubhouse, it's all about all 25 guys trying to be together as one and win games. Then all of a sudden you have certain guys try to do too much, try to pick up the other guy who's been struggling, whether it's guys playing out of their normal position. You know, we've had 10 different first basemen this season already this year, so there's so many different guys playing out of position, is trying to perform instead of just playing your game, do whatever you can to win.
Good throw by Mathis, good tag by Napoli, but Joyce gets back in there ahead of the tag at first base.
Well, definitely a quick throw. This runner screened by the left-handed batter and almost able to make that play at first. Quick tag by Napoli. Just got his hand in, Joyce did.
You're talking about those 10 different first basemen. You almost forget Paul McAnulty was here for a time.
It's unbelievable how many. I mean, what's the record for the Angels? There's been 11 different first basemen used. Obviously, nobody anticipated that coming into the season, the way Kendrick Morales had, his season last year, and of course coming in when he was playing this year, just dominant on both the offensive side and defensive side. But then gets hurt.
Quick throw to first. Joyce back in. Kendrick Morales, Mike Napoli, Howie Kendrick, Rob Quinlan, Paul McAnulty, Michael Ryan, Kevin Franzen, Brandon Wood, and Juan Rivera.
Strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Wonder how Cool Breeze is doing in Salt Lake. Kevin Francis.
Putting the ball in play as usual. Consistent swing. Probably playing a number of positions for him.
Kind of like having Kevin around.
Great personality.
Yep. 2-2 is outside. Full count here.
How about the old strike him out, throw him out right here? Definitely they're going to be running the race. Getting back to that first base position again, Victor. I think when you look at a club, everyone thinks, oh, you can just keep moving somebody in that first base position. It's a very vital part of your infield defense. How comfortable you are with your first baseman.
Time is called at the plate. I agree with you 100%. That old adage that, oh, well, his best spot is batter's box. We could just plop him at first base. You're doing a disservice to the other three guys in the infield.
Bob Boone, former Angel, came in, who works for the Washington Nationals. We were talking one time during a game a couple years ago. He said, arguably one of the most important positions is a good defensive first baseman, because all of a sudden you're more apt, if you're a third base, shortstop, or second, to make that acrobatic play and throw with the first, because you know it's going to be scooped or caught. Instead, if you have guys at first base that aren't acclimated to that position, to throw, it gets by them, it's an error. You're not going to try to make that play as often.
Joyce was leaning there. Aaron's throw just a little bit off target.
That being said, I think Mike Napoli's adjusted pretty well to first base, playing some solid defense for him.
Long top of the second. Three-two count here on Johnson. Joyce takes off, and he lays off that one. It's back-to-back walks. So 2 on for the Rays here with 1 out in the second. B.J. Upton coming up here. Center fielder. Hitting .237 on the year with 12 home runs and 45 runs batted in. B.J. had that 2-for-5 game on Monday last night. Followed that up with an 0-for-3 performance. Went from the leadoff spot to the 8th spot in the lineup, and back in that 8 hole once again. Lays off that one. It's 1 ball, no strikes. It's been a tale of 2 very similar pitchers right now as far as Neiman and Herod, as far as the balls and strikes are concerned. Danny's thrown 25 pitches, 13 strikes, 12 balls. Of the last 12, he's thrown just 3 strikes. Make that last 13 pitches 3 strikes. Behind the count at 2 balls, no strikes here on B.J. Upton.
Well, Dan Herron getting that early lead. A guy that throws a ton of strikes all of a sudden has lost the strike zone. Unusual for Dan.
Upton pulling that one foul along the third base line. Out in front of that breaking pitch, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Matt Joyce over at second base. Dan Johnson at first as Upton takes strike 2. BJ never leaving that batter's box. Just kind of hanging out there till Herron's ready to go. A 2-2. It's a called strike 3, and it gets away from Mathis. Somebody was crossed up on it. Upton goes down looking. There are 2 outs and the runners advance. What should be a pass ball.
Yeah, it was clearly looking for some different pitch, Mathis. Right down the heart of the plate also.
Boy, with good movement on that two-seam fastball. Must have been looking for a split-finger fastball.
It is a pass ball, advancing Joyce to third and Johnson to second. Henry Brignac will step to the plate. The starting shortstop this afternoon.
A lot of times an umpire won't call that a strike, though. It is a strike, but they won't call it.
Not much of a choice but to call it a strike. Brignac takes a strike. I mean, it's almost as if Kerwin Danley was hesitant. He's kind of looking at BJ. It's like, dude, it was a strike.
It was a strike. I know they were crossed
What am I
up.
supposed to do? Got him out on his front foot there. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Brignac hitting .252. 6 home runs. 36 runs batted in.
For all this, Dan Herron has a chance to throw that shutdown inning right here. He makes a good pitch.
Interesting way to go about it. And he gets Brignac, sure enough. Threw some pitches, gave up a couple of walks. But at the end, it is a shutdown inning. We head to the bottom of the second. Halos up 4-1. Second, the Angels setting up 8 men to the plate in the first, scoring 4 times off Jeff Neiman on 3 hits. Hideki Matsui had a bases clearing double, and Mike Napoli had an RBI double following that. It'll be Brandon Wood, Bobby Abreu, and Howie Kendrick here in the second inning. Brandon getting to start at shortstop with Ibar on the bench today. 163 average, 3 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Brandon was played last night as a pinch hitter as well. He got hit by a pitch. He promptly takes a fastball for a strike. Neiman threw 26 pitches in that first inning. 15 strikes. Had 1 strikeout and 1 walk. Brandon now with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Hits this one out to shallow right. Matt Joyce is there. He puts it away for the first down. Well, we were talking about Jeff Neiman being that 4th overall pick in 2004 and coming out of Rice University. Philip Humber was picked just ahead of him by the New York Mets. And then Wade Townsend got taken as the 8th overall selection in 2004 by the Baltimore Orioles. First time that a college staff, had 3 guys taken in the first 8 picks.
Did they ever lose a game?
They were unbelievable. Ended up winning a national championship. Neiman's a native of Houston, just right there by Rice. Abreu with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He drew a walk on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the first. Stole a base. Came around to score.
With Neiman struggling like he did in the first inning, you got to take advantage once again before he gets that good release point and he gets on a roll. Get him out of this game, get to that bullpen early.
Bobby ripping this one to right, but right to Matt Joyce. There are 2 outs.
Now it's time for Coors Light. Cold, hard, blast. Howie got a hanger going. Oppo Taco. Right center field for Howie. 10th home run of the season for Howie Kendrick. That was our Coors Light cold, hard, blast.
Nice. A little shredded lettuce, shredded cheese.
At the nighttime, last night going yard. That might have been way out in the daytime today.
Pretty good poke, his 10th home run of the year. 62nd RBI. You just got that?
Yep.
Hard hit, 1 hopper to Zobrist. Neiman has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Following the 8 batters he faced the first. 2 complete. Angels still up 4-1. Saturday, the Angels are teaming up with UC Irvine Healthcare and the American Red Cross for a blood drive at Angel Stadium to honor the memory of Angels pitcher Nick Adenhart. For more information or to make an appointment, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org and enter the code ANGELBB. Leadoff man John Jaso takes ball 1 from Dan Herron. Rays setting up Jaso, Zobrist, and Crawford here in the 3rd inning. Herron having picked up 3 strikeouts already, walked 2 in the 2nd inning. Jaso hit a home run on the 2nd pitch of the game, his 4th of the year, put the Rays up 1-0, but Angels responded with a 4 spot in the bottom of the inning. Loops this one down the left field line. Could be trouble if it's fair, and it's foul. Nobody's going to get to it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good time to throw that split finger fastball right now.
There comes the 1-2 from Danny. It's chopped foul on the third base side. Got to do everything you can to stay cool on this warm day. Sweet lids right there.
Well, it's about as high as they can get out today.
Jaso out toward left center. And Reggie Willicks is there. There's out number 1. It's kind of a hat you would wear in Boston when you were on that duck boat touring the great city of Boston.
Yeah, that was fun, just driving around the streets and then go right out in the water. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of historic sites in Boston.
You go right from a duck tour to safari.
Maybe catch some butterflies while you're at it also.
Ben Zobrist, a strikeout victim in the first innings. He's 0 for 1. That's on the outside corner. 1-1. Zobrist, a switch hitter, hitting .257 on the year. That pitch is upstairs, 2-1. You can't go wrong with those. My daughter still wears hers to the pool every day.
That fedora was a great hit. Fans loved it. They're still wearing them all over.
Zobrist yanking that one, found on the right field line. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Saw a number of them on the road trips too, in different cities we've been at. It's a good accessory when you go to New York or Boston.
Absolutely. And you being a big fan of wearing shorts with black socks and wearing that fedora, going to Starbucks down in New York City, that's a good look.
Especially when there's so many Angel fans there. I don't know about that one, wearing that around in New York with my Angel shirt on, but it might be tough. Maybe a little bit warmer.
Is that a Reggie jersey?
I think it is.
Yep. Gotta hydrate. Here's a 2-2.
And the key, when we were a starting pitcher in a days like today when it's this warm, you try to get that 1 or 2 pitch outs as much as possible, but there's been some tough at bats already against Dan Herron.
Well, he just got a piece of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A lot of prolonged at bats, as you pointed out.
43 pitches already here with 1 out in the 3rd inning. And because of the heat, both managers are going to be more apt to try to keep you around that 100, 110 pitch limit. Neiman may be even different since he's coming back from the DL.
Got a piece of that one again. Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, those are times that, especially days like this, where you run into some trouble. You have that pitch count floating up toward the century mark. Another 2-2. Another foul ball.
Good chance it might get up there quicker than you would want, especially with all these foul balls, a couple walks, which is completely unusual for Dan Herron. And of course, he's always been a strikeout pitcher, so that total always goes up with that.
Zobrist in a pretty good battle here, and he loses finally. Goes down swinging, 2 outs, 4th strikeout for Dan Herron.
All speed pitch. See the great split finger grip. Hunter will show that the Exmo. Perfect how the baseball rotates too, and the splitting of the fingers to be able to have that type of rotation where you think fastball, but the drop and the velocity is so different than the true fastball.
Carl Crawford at the plate. He's 0 for 1. Hit that shot back off of Herron. He ended up recovering and throwing him out. Got him in the back of the leg. 1-0 is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike on the inside corner, even though Crawford tried to sell it as if that pitch were inside. 1-2 now. Not a bad idea either, coming back inside.
Because if you're a hitter, you got to be thinking he's going to throw something in the outside corner or that split finger fastball. Instead, came in with a cutter inside. Now coming right back in again with a fastball.
And he's gone full on him. With Longoria on deck. Dan trying to go 1, 2, 3 for the first time in this one. Herron shaking off, and here comes the payoff pitch to Crawford. Missed inside. He walked it.
Boy, with 2 outs, 2, and Crawford with already 41 stolen bases on the season. All of a sudden, then your focus goes away from Longoria, who can drive the ball out of the ballpark to try to negate a running game. But a 2-out walk is always a difficult thing to do as a pitcher. Your pitching coach, obviously Mike Butcher there, not happy with that one. Then you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Still the case, though, with 2 outs and a 4-1 lead. You're worried about the base runner?
Got to.
Especially with this guy at the plate?
Still, you got to.
Longoria asked for time.
Clearly, Dan Herron was. He was holding the baseball, trying to slow him down. And Herron's pretty good at that. He's quick to the plate, but does a great job as far as holding the baseball. Best way to slow down a running game.
Longoria takes a fastball in for strike 1. Evan 0 for 1. He grounded out to Kayaspa to end the first inning. Outfield fairly deep with Longoria at the plate, especially during a day game. The Rays with a run in the first. The Angels responded with 4 in the bottom of the first. Line into center field, a base hit. Crawford advances 90 feet. 2 on, 2 outs now for Carlos Pena.
And went with a fastball. Being ahead of the count 0-1, went right back with a fastball again. This time was located right in the heart of the plate. Longoria drives it hard up the middle for a base hit.
Just watching that replay, that is called squaring a baseball up. When the ball leaves the bat and it's almost knuckling back up the middle.
You don't see any of the white underneath or at the top of the bat. It's doing about as well as you can get.
That is flush. Charlie Huff wishes he could throw a knuckleball like that. He had a pretty good one.
He had a good, I was going to say he had a pretty good knuckleball.
I wore a couple of them. Pena swings through that one. No balls, 2 strikes here at Carlos Pena. Hit a fly ball to left, leading off the second.
So all of a sudden becomes a big bat.
Just fouled at the plate.
Pena is a guy definitely will swing and miss a lot. Also has that good uppercut swing, and if you make a mistake, he can drive the ball very far. Dangerous hitter.
Got him. Good pitch and tied him up nicely. Herron picks up his 5th strikeout. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Angels still up. On this date in 1979, tied a club record with 8 runs batted in. Angels set club record 24 runs and 26 hits versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Some serious club records.
Yeah, there probably wasn't a lot of good pitches made during the course of that game by Toronto.
So. Baylor also hit 15 times during that game.
Very intimidating at the plate. Right on top of the plate. Challenge you to throw that fastball inside.
And why wouldn't he? That kind of guy as Callaspo takes upstairs. Be sure to visit farmers.com today to hear more true stories from Farmers customers and to find a SoCal agent near you. Alberto Callaspo, no official AB today as this one's out toward shallow center field, and the floater drops in there. Callaspo is on board with a base hit.
It's all about location. Not exactly a well-thrown pitch, but it was elevated enough. Most times when you see a ball flare into the outfield, it's going to be an elevated pitch, and that's what Callaspo got, and he pushed it out in the outfield and ended up getting a base hit.
I was saying he had no official at bat because he had a sacrifice bunt of the first inning, a very nice bunt. And a leadoff man is on board for Torrey Hunter. Torrey was hit by a pitch and scored a run in that first inning. Neiman coming off a 1-2-3 second. He'd retired 5 in a row since the Napoli double. And then Callaspo touches him for that little floater of a base hit. Torrey chopping this one through on the left side. Back-to-back hits for the Halos. 2 on and nobody out for Hideki Matsui.
Another opportunity to do some damage for Matsui as Torrey Hunter gets that ground ball through the hole. Some base hits today, some good situational hitting early in this game. Another one is 2-seam fastballs that Neiman has not located as well as he had want. Try to go down and in if you're trying to throw that fastball into Torrey Hunter, not at the point where it's around knee level where you could turn on it and hit that ball for a ground ball base hit.
Matsui ripped a double into the right field corner in his first at bat. It came with the bases loaded, so he picked up 3 RBIs. Takes downstairs, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Hideki now an RBI shy of the team lead. Chasing Torrey Hunter's got 70. Going with that breaking pitch, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, now got yourself in a great fastball count. Matsui's a guy with a good eye. He won't expand the zone unless it's going to be that good fastball to drive. Neiman's got to challenge him. He got Mike Napoli on deck.
Missed inside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Callaspo a base hit to center. Hunter a base hit to left. And now Matsui way ahead of the count at 3 balls and no strikes. Would not be surprised to see him pull the trigger here if he gets something to rip at.
And Mike Scioscia will give Matsui the green light here, knowing he knows the strike zone so well.
Lays off that one. That's a 4-pitch walk, and they are loaded back up, this time for Mike Napoli. Jim Hickey out to the mound. Second walk issued by Jeff Neiman.
He's coming back from the disabled list. Doesn't look like his location is real consistent. Mechanics are off today so far. Why you take advantage of it, score as many runs as possible, get down to that bullpen early.
Napoli awaiting his turn here. In the first inning, he had a RBI double. As you take a look at our U.S. Marines leaders of the game. 20 home runs, leading the Halos. 3rd straight year with 20 or more home runs. Kayaspo over third base. Hunter at second. Matsui at first.
Boy, as a hitter here, you have to be patient. Look for a pitch in your spot where you can drive it. Don't do the pitcher a favor by swinging at something out of the strike zone.
1 ball, no strikes. That double by Napoli, by the way, in the first inning is 19th of the year. He had a career high 22 last year. Johnson playing the cut of the grass over at first base. Longoria just behind the bag at third. The rest of the Rays at double play depth. But nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Breaking ball is in there. It's 1-1. I'm surprised that Neiman hasn't gone back to that curveball more so. It's been the one pitch where he has been able to kind of slow himself down and throw strikes with.
Because he's had a tough time with his fastball. Early in the game, elevating the fastball above the belt. No consistency with it.
1-2. Outfield straight away. Upton, as always, shallow in center. And the 1-2. Breaking ball, cued foul. And all of a sudden he's gotten to that curveball. Stuck with it.
Well, Mike Napoli's having a tough time adjusting on that swing on the breaking pitch. You have to stay with that pitch. If you're Neiman against Napoli, you got to make the adjustment, go the other way with that pitch because it's a difficult pitch to try to pull once it's hanging out over the plate.
Now into the dirt. Nice job by Jay. So keep that ball in front of him. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This did a nice job of shifting his body over, keeping it in front, and a chance to advance the base runners.
Napoli hammering one into deep left field. This one's got a chance. Gone! Grand slam for Mike Napoli. 8-1 Angels.
Well, you talk about taking advantage of a pitcher who's making some mistakes. Now, there's some pretty good curveballs that Mike Napoli decides to go with a fastball. Misses location once again on the inner half, and Napoli makes him pay for it. What a game so far for Napoli. We're already in the third inning. 21st home run, a second career grand slam.
And still nobody out here in the third. Reggie Willits at the plate, and he looks at a fastball up. 5th grand slam that the Halos have hit this year.
Hard to believe they didn't hit any last year.
Reggie was a strikeout victim in the first. And is ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. And nobody getting loose behind Jeff Neiman. There's a strike, 2-1. It's the most runs that Neiman has allowed in a game this year. The previous high had been 5, and he had done that twice. Once against the Marlins, the other against the Toronto Blue Jays. As Reggie puts a fly ball to right, chasing Joyce over to right center field. Ball had some carry. There's out number 1.
Boy, fastball down and in, sink action. I'll be able to drop the head of the bat. Good uppercut swing to be able to drive that out. Cut out there quickly for a grand slam. Good weight transfer, too, for Napoli on that one to be able to get the bat hit through and drive that out of the yard.
No balls on a strike here on Jeff Mathis. Jeff grounding out to third in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Back-to-back base hits by Kayaspo and Hunter. The walk to Matsui loaded him up for Napoli. He cleared him. One ball, 2 strikes. Mike now with 58 runs batted in. One, 2. Mathis goes down swinging. 2 outs.
Well, Jeff just continues to swing at that tough breaking pitch off the outside corner. He tries to make contact with that pitch. Tough pitch to be able to hit.
Now, new career highs continue for Mike Napoli. Now with the 58 RBIs, 2 better than what he had last year. 56, setting a new career high for him in that category. One ball, 1 strike here on Brandon. Hit a fly ball to right. His first at bat that came as a leadoff man in the second. Fouled at the plate. That got Jaso and Kerwin Danley.
Boy, fastball right down the heart of the plate. Off the face mask and off the leg.
Apparently Jaso broke his glasses. Kerwin Danley perhaps in between innings taping an aspirin to the inner thigh area. That is ripped into left field, a base hit. Crawford over to cut it off. Does so. Brandon will stop at first with a 2-out knock. Brings up Bobby Abreu, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Second time in this game that the Halos have sent 8 men to the plate.
Well, this got underneath that slider. You see how it was to the side instead of on top and snapping it to the end. That's why you're going to see that type of rotation and a flat slider that Brandon Wood took advantage of. He kept his hands back very well and through the zone to be able to hit that one hard.
Bobby just got underneath that one. And Brignac and Zobrist both shading their eyes, and it's Zobrist making the catch. Brignac was nowhere near where that ball would have landed. The Halos drop a 4 spot here in the third on Jeff Neiman, courtesy of Mike Napoli. Second career grand slam. It's 8-1 Angels. Question. Evan Longoria became the 4th youngest third baseman to win a Gold Glove last year. Who are the other 3? The 3 that are younger than Evan Longoria was to win his Gold Glove.
I think Mike Schmidt.
Oh, Schmidt's first year.
I know he struggled offensively. He hit about 196, but he could play some defense at that point. He was very young when he came up with the Phillies.
What year would that have been?
73, maybe 72.
I caught him in his glory years. Just because of my age. This one on the third base line. It's tailing into the seats, and that's where it'll end up. Joyce with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. I mean, you almost, just by default, because of how good he was, Brooks Robinson's got to come to mind.
Scott Rolen.
Check swing, he did not go.
Tom Foley, the third base coach for the Rays, says Longoria is the best fielding third baseman he has ever seen in Major League Baseball. Of course, he's seen Mike Schmidt and Scott Rolen, and I'm sure he saw Brooks Robinson.
Joyce has picked up his 2nd walk, the 4th issued by Dan Harrod. It's a leadoff walk to strike the 4th. That'll bring up Dan Johnson. Now, with all due respect to Evan Longoria, I mean, I'd be curious if he's talking about technique.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard that statement he's made, and it's surprising because Brooks Robinson, I don't know if he can ever be better than Brooks Robinson at third base.
Johnson swinging at the first pitch, pops it up on the infield. Howie with the call. 1 out. I mean, there's no question he's a good third baseman. But just a couple of years into the league to make that type of a statement.
But just that play in the World Series against the Reds, against Lee May, when he fielded that ball, was almost in the dugout when he made that throw across the diamond to get him out in a World Series game. I mean, Brooks is the best ever.
B.J. Upton swings the first pitch and pulls it foul. There's no balls and a strike on the center fielder, who struck out looking in the 2nd. If you recall, that was the pitch. It went off the glove of Mathis. Originally was ruled a pass ball. They have since rescinded that and changed it to a fielder's choice by rule. That is the call. So Mathis does not get charged with that pass ball, and Upton takes a strike. Oh, 2. That's down low.
Good spot with that fastball. Now you have it set up where you can throw that split finger fastball at the same location.
There's a called strike 3. Down goes Upton for the 2nd time in this ball game. There are 2 outs. Hey, if you have a sweet tooth, as we both do, and you're looking for a great place to keep your candy, because we're always looking for a place, then come out to Angel Stadium this Saturday. All fans in attendance will receive a free ceramic Angels candy jar, courtesy of Autotrader.com. Visit angelsbaseball.com for tickets. It's a 3-game series beginning on Friday against the Baltimore Orioles. You get that candy jar, no candy inside the jar, on Saturday night. 6:05 start.
I cannot wait for that one. Cross that out on my calendar for quite some time to get that little ceramic candy dish.
Breaking pitches outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike here on Reed Brignac, who went down swinging in the 2nd inning. That's a line shot into center field. Stopping at second is Joyce. 2 on, 2 outs. And nothing has been easy for Dan Herron in the first 4 innings of this game.
My fastball right down the heart of the plate again. Seemed to be generating as much movement on the 4-seam fastball. When he throws a 2-seam fastball like he threw the up it on the outside part with that late movement, it's been effective, but the 4-seam fastball has been straight for him today.
No balls in a strike here on John Jaso, the catcher, at a home run in the first inning. A fly ball to center in the third. Matt Joyce had a leadoff walk. He's at second. Brignac with that 2-out base hit is at first. 3 hits for the Rays compared to the 7 by the Angels through their first 3 innings. 2 4-run innings. 4 runs in the first. 4 runs in the third to take this 8-1 lead. This one out toward right center field. Reggie Willis calling off Torrey Hunter. And there's out number 3. No runs, a hit. The Rays leave a couple of men on. Halos still up 8-1.
Ever the smart choice is CarMax. By Carl's Jr. Want a Charlesville burger top of the big juicy Philly cheesesteak? Then come to Carl's Jr. for the Philly cheesesteak burger. And by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on.
8-1 Halos as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Jeff Neiman still out there. It looks like the Rays have started to get some action going in their bullpen, considering the fact that Neiman has been scuffling. Andy Sonnenstein, whom the Halos saw last night in the 9th inning, he scuffled a little bit before getting the final out.
Well, he's won some games starting for the Rays over his career. And even I think they're trying to stretch him out, get him to build some arm strength back after being on the DL.
Well, he's got 2, 3, and 4 for the Angels here. Kendrick, Callaspo, and Hunter. Now he takes a fastball for his strike. Howie 1 for 2, had a base hit and a run scored in the first inning, grounded out to Ben Zobrist at second. In his last plate appearance. And even going back-to-back strikes here, getting ahead of the count at 0-2.
Sometimes a manager will leave you in these situations to try to get your mechanics back. Even though you've pitched poorly, and the numbers will tell you that, if you can have that good solid inning, all of a sudden that muscle memory kicks back in as far as arm location, following through, and then he'll probably take him out.
Howie fouling that pitch back. The count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Some other afternoon contests around Major League Baseball today. Kansas City beat Detroit in extra innings 4-3. Boston beating Seattle 5-3. Game 1 of a day-night doubleheader at Fenway Park. Always lovely there as Kendrick launches this one out toward left center field. Crawford overruns that ball, goes off his glove. And Crawford at the last minute kind of peeked back to see where that warning track and wall were. And when he looked back, kind of realized that he'd gone a little bit too far with his speed. And Howie ends up at second.
Well, he was running for a location and get to that point and look up, but the last second was off over his head. He had to reach back and hit off his glove. On the breaking pitch, it spun back over the middle of the plate for Neiman, and Crawford was unable to pick him up and catch that mistake.
It's a double for Howie Kendrick, his 33rd of the year, his second hit of the game, so he's 2 for 3. Alberto Callaspo takes upstairs. Alberto with a sack run in the first inning, had a bloop single that started the rally in the third. He came around to score on the Mike Napoli grand slam. So the count is even at 1-1. A couple of National League games that are ongoing right now. Atlanta beating Colorado up at Coors Field 10-2. That game in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Cincinnati leading the Giants 8-1 in the bottom of the 3rd at AT&T Park. Everything else at night as Callaspo takes outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Minnesota is visiting Texas. So that would be game 3 of their 4-game series. Halos are off tomorrow before welcoming in the Baltimore Orioles Friday night. Lazy fly ball down the left field line. Crawford sprinting in the foul ground and will make the catch. There's out number 1. Kendrick remains at second base. Go back to our AT&T trivia question. Evan Longoria, the 4th youngest third baseman, won a Gold Glove last year. With the other 3, Doug Rader. Nope. Eric Chavez, Brooke Robinson, and Scott Rowland. Got a long way to go to get to Brooks Robinson and his 16 Gold Gloves.
Boy, 16 Gold Gloves playing the hot corner like that.
It's got to be Brooks Robinson, Michael Jack. So I never saw Clete Boyer or Doug Rader, any of those guys. Buddy Bell, I saw Buddy Bell play. He's won some Gold Gloves as well at third base.
You know what? When he was on a roll, Adrian Beltre is a pretty solid third baseman, but not quite in that category.
Torrey takes upstairs, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Gary Gaetti.
He could pick it there for a while when he's with the Twins.
Torrey takes a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Hunter has scored twice. He was hit by a pitch in the first and singled in the third. So 1-for-1 game. He's got Howie Kendrick at second base. Neiman stepping off for a moment.
Here's the 2-2. Torrey chopping this one foul. Kelly Gruber at third base. The Blue Jays. Dudley do right. Kelly kind of looked like the Canadian Mountie.
Yes, he did.
Two. Full count now with Matsui on deck.
Pretty sure Kelly and I were teammates in the '89 All-Star game down here. It makes you run right on that one. I don't recall many of the teammates.
Was he there to save the day?
Yes, he was.
3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. Joe Maddon's coming out. He may have seen enough of Jeff Neiman. And sure enough, it looks like Andy Sonnenstein is the guy that's going to be called upon here with 1 out in the 4th inning, and the Angels up 8-1. Play of the game with Hideki Matsui coming up. This happened in the 1st inning. He ripped a fastball into the right field corner with the bases loaded. The Angels went into the bottom of the 1st, down 1-0. They came out of the bottom of the 1st up 4-1. They've since tacked on 4 more runs, lead it 8-1. Matsui will be facing Andy Sonnenstein. The right-handed reliever comes on here for Jeff Neiman.
Sonnenstein definitely not overpowering. Pretty good record there, 3-1 ERA, 4.11. Got a fastball 85 to 89 range, sinks it, tries to spot that fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Definitely a pitch to contact pitcher.
Well, they went 1 inning last night, gave up 2 hits, hit 2 batters, struck out a man, and allowed no runs. Neiman responsible for Kendrick at second, Hunter at first. 3 1/3. His first start off the disabled list. Not quite what he was expecting. But today the Angels getting the knocks when they needed to. Men on base, men in scoring position. They had the opportunities in the first 2 games against James Shields as well as Wade Davis last night. Did not happen, but making it happen so far today. Matsui takes a strike. The Halos 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position today. Showed you that double by Matsui. He's also walked and scored. So 1 for 1 today. Angels with 8 hits in this ball game. Very slow moving game.
That's down in the dirt. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Neiman certainly did not help moving this along as far as throwing the pitches that he did. Number of them. Dan Herron as well has not been as crisp as you'd like him to be, but still up 8-1.
Number 5 and 6 hitters for the Angels today have been outstanding for Mike Scioscia. Matsui and Napoli driving in all kinds of runs.
It's 2 balls and a strike. Matsui faced Sonnenstein last night. Ended up striking out on that cut fastball down and in. And the right-handers follow behind at 3 balls and 1 strike.
Relies on location and spotting the fastball. Reluctant at times to challenge hitters.
Matsui takes upstairs. They are loaded up for Mike Napoli. Wouldn't this be something? This is what he did in the 3rd inning against Jeff Neiman. Grand slam, 2nd of his career. He's got a 5 RBI game thus far. Had an RBI double in the 1st, the grand slam in the 3rd.
Could it be back-to-back innings for Mike Napoli?
Breaking ball is high for ball 1. Sonnenstein, a 13th round pick in 04 by the Rays. From the big leagues, I should say, pretty much since 2007. Out of Kent State University. Here comes the 1-0. Upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
Pretty sure Mike Napoli's going to swing pretty hard at this pitch. 2-0, bases loaded. Sonnenstein doesn't have overpowering stuff. He's given up 10 home runs in 65 innings pitched so far this season, so he does give up the long ball.
Kendrick at 3rd base, Hunter at 2nd, Matsui at 1st. Takes the breaking pitch inside. 3 balls and no strikes.
Late in the game, 8-1. Wouldn't probably get the green light. It's still early in the ball game. A lot of time left in the game. He probably will get the green light here.
Ball 4. It is 9-1. Angels. 6 RBI game for Mike Napoli. That is a new career high for Napoli. And the Rays have issued 3 consecutive walks. Neiman had 1 before he departed, and now Sonnenstein. Back-to-back walks to Matsui and Napoli.
Boy, Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, is getting some serious workout in today. And his 4th or 5th appearance on the mound. Trying to talk his pitches through their mistakes on the mound so far.
That run, of course, charged to Neiman. Hunter belongs to Neiman. He's over at 3rd base. Matsui at 2nd. Napoli at 1st. Here's Reggie Willits. Be time for Reggie to turn and crank here.
Get the first one.
Why not? 0 for 2 on this one with a strike and a fly ball to right. 1 out, the base is loaded. Little jab shot over to 3rd. That is a foul ball. I'm kind of surprised Longoria laid back on that ball.
He could feel that step on the base and throw across to get a double play.
Oh, either that or just tag Torrey. Torrey was cut off the bag at 3rd. He had a chance for double play to end the inning.
and he's playing in. Why not charge that ball? Tag out Torrey, touch the bag, and you're done.
Could be outs everywhere.
It did hit that cut of the grass there, but never really made an effort to come charging for the ball. If you're the best defensive third baseman of all time, you'd think you'd be making that play.
I guess he must have heard you saying Brooks was the guy, so he wasn't going to make the play.
He said, forget about it, huh? Here comes the 1-1. Reggie takes a strike, 1-2. Do you think Brooks lays back on that?
No.
Michael Jack?
No.
Kelly Gruber?
Kelly makes the play.
Absolutely.
Saves the day.
1-2. Reggie pulls it foul. The Rays with a run on 3 hits. They've stranded 6. The Halos 9 runs, 8 hits. They've left 2 on base. Reggie takes a called strike 3, 2 outs. Mathis steps in, now 0 for 2 with a ground ball to third and a strikeout. Two balls and no strikes. Boy, Sonnenstein even struggling to just flip that curveball up there.
Gives you an appearance of time he tries to aim the baseball. Be free and easy with your mechanics. Now, if you're Mathis, you stay back, trust your hands, and drive it.
That pitch a little bit up and away for a moment. It's 2-1 now. The 2-1 pitch. This one down the right field line. Joyce giving chase. Not going to get it. It bounces into the seats. 2 runs will come home. 11-1 Angels. Double for Jeff Mathis.
And that was a good approach for Jeff at that at bat. Get him going offensively once again. Good job. He was in that. Mickey Hatchett tries to get him to stay more of a squat position as far as his mechanics, as far as swinging through the baseball. Squared it up very well. Kept his head still, out over the plate, and right to right field for that ground rule double.
Now the book on Neiman is closed. 10 runs in 3 1/3. Second and third here, 2 outs for Brandon Wood. Fouls that one back. Third time in the game. And for the second consecutive inning, the Halos have sent 8 men to the plate. Brandon had a base hit in the third inning. He's 1 for 2. Top of the order, and Bobby Abreu on deck. Napoli's the guy over at third, and Mathis at second. No balls, 2 strikes. The double by Mathis, his 5th of the year, now with 14 runs batted in. Count still at no balls, 2 strikes here on Brandon. Got the start today at shortstop. Reaches for this one, pulls it over to short. Brignac bobbles it for a second, but the throw beats Wood. And that will end the inning. The Halos tack on 3 more through 4. The Angels lead it 11-1. Question: how many pitchers will win 20 or more games this season in Major League Baseball? None, 1, 2, 3 or more. Just log on to foxsportswest.com and cast your vote. How many you got?
I'm going to 4 this year. So 3 or more.
Going with a safe pick, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Yep. Roy Halladay.
Nice.
Wainwright. Sabathia gets about 20 runs a game.
That is a one-hopper to Howie Kendrick. Ben Zobrist is retired for out number 1 as Sean Rodriguez will come up to pinch hit for Carl Crawford. Rodriguez will be batting in the 3 spot. Crawford ends the game going 0 for 1, including a walk. The 11 runs the Angels have scored in this ball game, the most since they scored 10 runs against the Tigers. That was on August the 7th at Comerica Park. And it's the first time they've scored more than 10 runs since June 19th. That's when they shut out the Cubs 12-0 at Wrigley Field, beating up Ted Lilly, getting 15 hits in that game. Jared Weaver picked up his 7th win. It was 7-3 at that point. Rodriguez takes a strike, and it's 1-2. John Rodriguez got the start here on Monday night, playing second base. Ended up going 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. Had a double as well. The 1-2. Inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Try to get him a swing and miss at that split finger fastball.
And he got him there. Down goes Rodriguez, 2 outs. Willie Ibar is going to be batting for Evan Longoria, so the change is coming fast and furiously for Joe Madden. Down by 10 runs. Seven strikeouts in the game for Herron. Ibar swings the first pitch. It's a towering shot down the right field line.
long run for everybody, and will land in the seats. The 10 runs allowed by Jeff Neiman in this ball game, the most he's allowed in his career.
Sure, he always likes that when you leave a couple base runners on it and them guys come around and scoring too. You really top off your day.
But at that point, is it really adding insult to injury?
Well, I don't think
you've given up 8.
Well, you don't want 10.
Yeah, it's a nice round number.
I've been there, done that one.
This one is going to stay in play. Torrey comes in, and he'll make the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dan Hare. The first time in this game he's retired the side in order. We hit to the bottom of the 5th. All Angels thus far. Inning, and just like a spring training game, a bevy of changes. Dan Johnson, who started the game at first base, is now the new left fielder. We also have a new center fielder as Ben Zobrist moves from second base out to center. Willie Ibar just pinch hit, stays in the game. He's over at third. Sean Rodriguez, who just pinch hit, is over at second base. The new first baseman is the former catcher, John Jaso, and the new catcher is Kelly Shabak.
Just a few changes.
And for some play-by-play, here's Mark Kubica.
And here's Sonnenstein with the pitch to the plate. It's a strike.
Madden's making changes. Let's change it up.
All right.
Abreu, Kendrick, and Callaspo here against Andy Sonnenstein. Bobby popping this one on the third base side. Ibar giving chase, and they'll run out of room. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Now, don't ask me in which spots in the order they're batting.
So we'll hear the stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know where Rodriguez and Ibar are because they pinch hit. Jaso Johnson stay at the same place. Zobrist as well. I would imagine Shabak is in for Upton.
That'd be a good guess.
Yeah. And my book looks like a spring training game now. Bobby is walked, hit a fly ball to right, and popped out to second. 1-2 pitch. Lays off that one. It goes through the wickets of Shabak, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good old lineup card.
Lots of names being crossed off and put in different positions.
Even the colors match the team uniforms. That Joe Madden, I tell you what. Clever, clever man. As Bobby goes down swinging, there's out number 1.
Well, he used to have those great quotes every single day in the locker room on the door before he went out to the game. Some hilarious, some get you motivated for the game. A number of them I couldn't understand. But
he's a guy that has never really changed. He has been the same guy coming up through the minor league system with the Angels as a bench coach, and then on to being a manager of the Rays. He is the same guy. This isn't, some persona that all of a sudden has come out over the 5 years as the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. He was the same way when he was my minor league field coordinator. Howie swings through that one. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's an incredible passion for the game of baseball. Well, he felt all along when he took over as the manager of the Rays that they were going to be a good team in a short period of time, and everyone kind of looked at him like they have never won. What makes you think that's the case? But he was excited about those good arms he had in the minor league system that eventually were going to get up to the big league level. When you have good young starting pitching, you start developing some of your position players like Longoria, players like that, and make some trades, and all of a sudden you're going to be a good team, and they certainly are.
Howie gets his 3rd hit of the game. Continuing to rake. A 3-for-4 afternoon. A couple of singles and a double. He's also scored twice. He's on board for Alberto Callaspo. Well, the reality of it, too, Gooby, is the fact that if you're the Rays, just like any other team, you're a perennial doormat, as the Rays were, as an expansion team, but struggling. You're always getting either the 1st or 2nd overall pick that you are bound to hit. But that being said, you still have to have the scouts to go out there, pick the right guy, project him correctly, and make sure that you develop him and have him succeed at the major league level. Who cares about the minor league numbers, but being able to produce at the big league level. And that's what the Rays have been able to do over the last 6 to 7 years, even preceding Joe Maddon's 10 years as manager.
But even Pittsburgh's been in that similar position, yet they're still struggling. It's all about having, you mentioned the scouts.
Callaspo looping on the right. There's another base hit. Kendrick will stop at second as Joyce gets the ball back in. Back-to-back hits for the Halos here in the 5th, with 1 out and Torrey coming up.
And that one word you always hear as far as when it comes to draft day is signability. Sometimes you don't get that very best player in the first pick, but they went out and did that. They went out and signed the best players they can get. They built through the draft.
So I think I kind of like about the way the Angels do business, the way Dave Dombrowski and the Tigers do business. Whatever it is, it gets down to their spot. If it's the best player on the board, you pluck them and you get them signed. If you believe that guy is going to be a future major leaguer in your system, then you just get it done. Perfect example this year, Caleb Coward. Everyone said that Caleb's going to go to Florida State. He's got a full ride there. He's not going to sign with the Angels. The Angels got it done. Dave Dombrowski's done it for a number of years.
Even if you're strong at the major league level, the catching position, good clubs, well, if that's the best player available as a catcher, you're going to draft them, because you can always move him to a different position, or guy at the major league level could be traded for another pitcher or position player. You got to get the best player available. Don't necessarily go for your particular need. If you need an outfielder, and strictly go with that if he's not the quality player you need to get over the hump.
1 ball, 1 strike count here on Torrey. He's been hit by a pitch, singled and walked, so 1 for 1 day, and he's scored 3 times. Fouls the breaking pitch back, and it's 1-2. Heck, even your former Royals, as they committed a couple of years ago to actually spending money on the draft, now worrying about signability, have started to stock up some young talent.
It's the only way you get a chance of being competitive. If you're in that so-called small market, mid-market mentality, you have to build within your system and take the very best players. You can't hope to groom a player that's an okay player and be a franchise guy.
Couple of strikeouts here in the 5th inning for Andy Sonnenstein. So 2 on 2 outs. Hideki Matsui will step in. Matsui's been on board 3 times. Bases clearing double. Picking up 3 RBIs in the first inning, 2 walks, and 3 runs scored. The Halos with 4 in the first, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth. That first pitch up and away. Mike Napoli's on deck. Career high 6 RBIs in this game. Picking up his second career grand slam in the third inning. Matsui went around on that pitch. And it's 1-1. Kendrick at second, Kayaspa at first. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball ripped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sonnenstein's 1-2. That is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. $11 hits this afternoon through the first 4 2/3 for the Angels. Little jam shot over to third. A lot of spin on it. Eyeball. He's not going to throw out Matsui. That's an infield base hit. You know what that means? Hey, they're loaded up for Mike Napoli for the 3rd consecutive inning. Alexis pursuing perfection.
Well, this is perfection. So far, he's got a double going in, scored Matsui, then with the bases loaded the first time around, goes grand slam. And next time up, walks, drives in another run. 6 RBI so far. I can't imagine it happened too often. Lexus pursuing perfection of having 3 consecutive at-bats with the bases loaded.
Well, the fans know it too. 37,000 plus here on a warm and muggy afternoon. Facing Andy Sonnenstein. And the first pitch. He wasn't going to wait around. Cues that one foul. There's no balls and a strike.
He didn't mind taking that walk for an RBI, but I think he was thinking the lines of maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 4 RBIs on a swing.
Well, he's got 60 runs batted in now on the year. '21 home runs. And the batting average over 250. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, if you're a hitter up in this spot against Sonnenstein, he doesn't have the fastball to get it by you. Move up a little bit on the plate and just drive it. Have yourself an incredible day for Mike Napoli right here.
Upstairs, 2-1. Kendrick's had himself a 3-hit game. He's at third. Kayaspa with a couple of hits at second. Matsui has been on base all 4 times. 2 hits and 2 walks. Godzilla over at first. Big swing and a miss there. 2-2.
Well, he's challenging with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball down the heart of the plate. Napoli just pulled off that pitch. More like he's going to get some type of breaking pitch, whether it be a curveball or a slider.
Two balls, two strikes, 2 outs here in the 5th. The pitch. Fouled it back. Trying to stay away from him.
Like a cut fastball.
Another 2-2. Breaking ball. He breaks his bat, pops it up. Jaso makes the catch, and that will end the inning. The Halos leave them loaded and through 5 on a gorgeous day for baseball and for being at the beach. It's all Angels.
Going fastball down with the bases loaded against Mike Napoli. Said, don't go there because I'm going here. Over the fence in left field for the grand slam by Mike Napoli. What a day. 6 RBI on the day. That was our Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Nicely done. We start the top of the 6th inning. Danny Herron with an 11-1 lead. Facing Carlos Pena, Matt Joyce, Dan Johnson, the scheduled 3 for the Rays. And just swinging at that first pitch and fouling it back. Peter Borges in the game now in center field. He will bat in Bobby Abreu's spot as Reggie moves over to left. Pena in this one is 0 for 2. Fly ball to left. That happened in the 2nd. Struck out in the 3rd. There's a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Halos over shifting with Pena, a dead pull hitter. For the most part, 3 infielders on the right side. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Herron with 7 punch outs. You see the defensive alignment here. Danny's also walked 4 to go to 7 punch outs. Jam shot over to Brandon Wood. And from the second base position, it's a 6-3 put out on the first out to start the 6th. Hey, folks, the next Wells Fargo Big Bang Friday takes place Friday as the Angels take on the Orioles. Come out to the Big A for another exciting night of Angels baseball and stay for the spectacular post-game fireworks. Purchase those tickets today at angelsbaseball.com. Joyce swings and misses, and it snowballs at his strike. No official AB for him. He's walked twice. Those fireworks are unbelievable. The technology behind the fact that something like that could float up into the sky and just explode into beautiful colors. Here's the 1-1 from Herron. Lays off that one, does Joyce. 2 balls and a strike.
Truly is amazing.
Joyce couldn't pull the trigger there. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Product of Florida Southern out of Tampa. Former Tiger. 2-2. Got him looking. Down goes Joyce. 2 outs. We'll go back and take a look at our Hyundai key to the game, Goober.
Well, the key was taking that early lead. Yes, they gave up that first run of the game when Jaso hit the home run, but they responded right away with 4 themselves in the bottom of the first, kept that lead and piled on since. Now 11-1.
Dan Johnson, the left fielder, takes a strike. He got the start at first base, moving to left when Joe Madden emptied his bench. Johnson's 0 for 1. That is pulled, and Mike Napoli's having a big game. Times the lead perfectly, and Herron has his second 1-2-3 inning in succession. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 11-1 Angels. Look at our one West Bank, one person, one play. This ended the 6th inning. Nice play by Mike Napoli.
Napoli getting up and making a great play.
I don't know about you, but the man's got mad hops.
Getting up and making that play. What a game.
For a catcher?
That's because we were talking about him doing a great job defensively as the first baseman this year.
I hear you.
He was listening in. He ran upstairs and listened in.
Brought to you by One West Bank, one person at a time. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Angels have the bottom third of their lineup due up. Willits, Mathis, and Wood. He's scheduled 3. Facing Andy Sonnenstein. He's got an inning and 2/3 thus far, having allowed a run on 4 hits. Reggie hitless in this one, 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to right. The Angels have action in their bullpen, so Dan Herron's afternoon may have
come to an end as Reggie pulls this one foul. It's 1-1. Kevin Jepson is up. Well, you got to credit our man, Norm Peters, the living legend himself, who said in our booth right after Dan Herron gave up the home run to John Jaso on the second pitch of the game, "No worries, boys. It's going to be a one-hitter for Herron. Very close. It's a three-hitter, and the Halos are up." The legend that is Norm.
An incredible effort, too. Good call.
Willett slapping this one foul down the left field line, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Herron is indeed done, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 run on 3 hits, a home run.
Dan Herron hasn't been supported with a lot of runs this season, but finally gets a game in which he can even make some mistakes, yet still be up by 10 runs.
Zobrist shading his eyes, makes the catch. Willis is retired for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. So Reggie 0 for 4, and here comes Jeff Mathis. Herron, by the way, in line for what would be his second win as a member of the Angels. They'd be 2 and 4. Mathis had a 2 RBI double his last plate appearance. Fouls this one off to the right. Mathis with his 5th double coming in the 4th inning. 0-1 pitch. That is line to left, a base hit. So a 2-hit game for Jeff Mathis. Puts a man on with 1 out, and Brandon coming to the plate. Hey folks, join the Angels for Salute to Kids Day at the Big A on Sunday, September the 12th. All kids ages 2 to 18 will automatically be entered to win great prizes throughout the game. Be sure to purchase your tickets for the September 12th game at angelsbaseball.com. Brandon takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Wood 1 for 3, had a base hit in the 3rd inning. It's the same pitch that hit Brandon last night. Same guy on the mound. So 2 on and 1 out.
Doesn't want to make a mistake with that slider, so he overthrows it. Backs up, spins, hits Brandon Wood in the shoulder again.
Here's Peter Borges, first AB. Takes down low, came on as a defensive replacement at the top of the inning. Batting in the leadoff spot for Abreu. Bobby, by the way, went 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of pop-ups. There's a strike, 1-1. Jeff Neiman, like his first starts, is coming off the DL today for the Rays. Went 3 1/3. 10 runs, a career high. All earned on 8 hits, including a home run. That was Napoli's slam in the 3rd inning. Borges out to right. Joyce, a good jump on it. Puts it away for out number 2. Runners do not advance. And here comes Howie Kempton. He's had a 3-hit game in this one. A couple of singles and a double.
You're going to see that swing getting going once again for Howie. That inside-out approach, turns on the pitch on the inner half.
Just down in front of that breaking pitch. Fouls this one back over the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, that game in Colorado all of a sudden is a game. 10-8 Atlanta, bottom of the 7th. Never done at Coors Field.
No, even with that humidor to be able to make the baseball not travel quite as far. Certain days, especially day games, I don't think that matters. As a pitcher, you always look ahead and say, well, I hope I missed that series.
Yeah.
And hitters, you're coming off the DL, no matter what to play there.
Andy Sorenstein working at a brisk pace. Delivers the 1-2. And Howie shoots it into right field for his 4th hit. Dino Ebel's going to wave home Jeff Mathis. He'll score, and it's 12-1.
Boy, what a game, too, for Howie. About that ability to go the other way with a fastball elevated, cut fastball. Outer half, stayed back very well. Level swing, drives it in the right for another base hit and an RBI.
Here's Alberto Callaspo with 2 on and 2 outs. He takes a strike. Alberto 2 for 3. Sacrifice bunt, single, fly ball to left, and a single. He's also scored a run. RBI for Kendrick is 63rd. See Juan Rivera has come out to the on-deck circle. He would be batting in Torrey's spot. Even if he doesn't bat here, I would imagine he takes over in right field to start the 7th. Callaspo into right. Joyce is over. That'll end the inning. Halos get a run on Howie Kendrick's 4th hit of the game. First 4-hit game of the year for Howie. 12-1 Angels.
AT&T, TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit at AT&T.com or call 1-800-PICK-AT&T for details. And by your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. Top of the 7th here at the Big A. It is 12-1 Halos. Kevin Jepson has come out, taking over on the mound for Dan Herod, who went 6 innings tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Feels like tonight. 8 strikeouts, 4 walks on 3 hits. Kevin comes in with a 2-3 mark and a 4.19 ERA. He's got a new outfielder, and that's Juan Rivera in right field, taking over for Torrey Hunter. Juan would be leading things off in the bottom of the 7th. Torrey ending the game going 1 for 2.
Kevin Jepson, 48 punch-outs and 43 innings pitched.
Kelly Shopik swinging at the first pitch and fouls it back. His first AB. The mad dash for the foul ball down in the lower deck.
Some serious contact going for that foul ball.
Shopik got the start behind the dish in Monday's game. Right-handed batter facing Scott Kazmir, ended up going 0 for 4. John Jaso has been behind the plate the last 2 games. Jaso now at first base with the defensive alignment. Jepson falls behind at 2 balls and a strike. Kevin pitched on Monday. Went 1 inning, scoreless. As we pointed out on Monday night, he's thrown the ball better here at home than he has out on the road. Shopik swings and misses there, and it's 2-2 now. Reed Brignac is on deck. John Jaso to follow. 2-2. Shopik gets jammed and finds it back to the screen. It's the 3rd time this year in which the Angels have scored 12 runs, tying the season high. Pointed out that game at Wrigley Field on June 19th. Against the Cubbies, and they also did it back on May 15th against Oakland. Another jam shot, and the count remains at 2-2. A full count. Oh, reset, do it again at 3-2.
Going after him with the fastball with a 12-1 lead. You want to go after the leadoff hitter, challenge him with that fastball, especially when you can run it up there 95 to 97.
And a leadoff walk to start the 7th. First base runner that the Rays have had on since the 4th inning. 2-out base hit by Brignac as he steps to the plate now. He's 1 for 2. I mean, at this point of the game, up by 11 runs in the 7th. I know you're trying to get your work in, but
Here it is.
Especially, like I said, when you have a fastball like Jepson's, challenge. Go right down the middle, trust movement.
Falls behind on Brignac at 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. Mike Butcher is going to come out and pay a visit. Brignac getting the start today at shortstop in place of Jason Bartlett. Most of the regulars for the Rays on the bench now.
This is a spot where the pitching coach will go run out and say, hey, listen, trust your mechanics. Don't worry about being too fine. Think of where you're landing. Just go out and challenge. You've already warmed up well down in the bullpen. You don't need to worry about your landing spot, your arm angle. Just go out and challenge a batter.
2 words: throw, strikes. Up the first base line, and it bounces foul. Shopik heads back to first base. Brignac now with a 2 ball, 1 strike count. And most of the 37,000 plus here at the Big A hiding in the shade for the better part of the game. Smart call. This one on the ground. It's off the glove of Howie to right field. Shopik will round second, head over to third. And the Rays have runners at first and third base with nobody out here, and Jaso coming up. Jaso 1 for 3. Hit the second pitch of the game for a home run to right field. His 4th jack of the year. He's also hit a fly ball to center and 1 to right. And again, Jepson falling behind at 1 ball, no strikes. One of 1. The hit by Brignac, just the 4th for the Rays in this one. Two balls and a strike. The Angels with an off day tomorrow before the Orioles come into town for the first of 3 Friday. 3 balls and a strike. And I know you've got a 11-run lead, but with the Rays, even with their starters mostly out, the big boys anyways, it's going to force action in the bullpen so nothing gets out of hand. This one out to left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Shopik is going to score. Brignac's going to score as well. It's a 2 RBI double for Jaso. And it's 12-3.
Well, Jaso certainly has had a good series here against the Angels. When you fall behind in the count, you're forced to throw in pitches that hitters comfortable seeing. Down underneath that fastball once again, ends up running right down the heart of the plate. Jaso stays back well, squares it up. Result, double left center field. 2 runs scored.
Frankie Rodriguez is up and loosening now for the Halos. Ben Zobrist steps in. Still nobody out. Zobrist rolls this one foul. Leadoff walk to Shopik. Base hit by Brignac. Double by Jaso here in the 7th. No balls, 2 strikes. Zobrist got the start at second. Been playing center since the 5th inning. 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out to Howie. The 0-2. Popped up. Cayaspo near the railing. So Sean Rodriguez steps in now. He's 0 for 1. Pinch hit in the 5th inning. It struck out. That was against Dan Herron, one of his 8 punch outs. Fouls off the first pitch. He's talking about the Orioles coming into town on Friday. Brad Bergeson will be going for Baltimore on Friday against Jared Weaver. 7:05 start. Saturday, Kevin Millwood goes for Baltimore against left-hander Scott Kazmir. Then Sunday, Jeremy Guthrie against Irvin Santana. At least that's the scheduled 3. Saturday is 6:05. Sunday, a 12:35 game. And the Angels go back out on the road for a week. 1 ball, 1 strike. Three more road trips for the Angels. Next one through Seattle and Oakland. Then they've got one between Cleveland and Tampa. And the last one is the last weekend of the season, a 4-game series against the Texas Rangers. Kevin Jepson's thrown 24 pitches here in the 7th inning. He's behind on the count of 2 balls and a strike.
Well, another base runner, Mike Scioscia, might go out and make that change.
Full count. Willie Ibar on deck. The payoff pitch. Rodriguez out to center. Borges in his tracks. 2 outs. Hey, the Angels Friends and Family Fun Pack presented by JetBlue lets you enjoy 4 game tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks for just $44. The next Friends and Family Fun Pack game takes place this coming Sunday against the Baltimore Orioles. Purchase your Family Fun Pack today at angelsbaseball.com. Because Jepson has thrown 27 pitches and has done so in a not so easy fashion, Mike Scioscia is going to make a pitching change with 2 outs here in the 7th. And the Halos up 12-3.
Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo served with curly fries and a drink for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by Toyota. Get a great deal on Toyota's full line of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealer today. 12-3 Angels here in the 7th. The Rays have scored 2 runs, both allowed by Kevin Jepson. And Francisco Rodriguez comes on here to try to finish off the 7th inning, facing Willie Ibar with a man at second base. 1-3 mark and a 3.60 ERA. Frankie comes in and throws ball 1. Ibar 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right. Jaso, the catcher, had the 2 RBI double as the guy at second base. Here's the 1-1. Ibar out to right field. Here comes Rivera. That will end the inning. Rays get 2 runs on 2 hits. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 12-3 Halos. Now the Angels are up 12-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll be facing a new pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays. Lance Cormier comes in with a 4-3 mark and a 4.22 ERA. Cormier pitched last night, went an inning and 2/3, gave up a run on 3 hits, including Howie Kendrick's home run.
Boy, 27 walks and 19 punch-outs. So command issue of the strike zones. A big reason why his ERA is where it's at. Not an overpowering fastball. 87 and 90. Goes a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Well, command issues in the strike zone in today's ball game, pretty much apropos.
Yeah.
All sides, all guys, pretty much. Even though Herod struck out 8, he did walk 4. Did not have that pinpoint control that we're so accustomed to seeing. Kevin Jepson struggled. Andy Sonnenstein also struggled. Cormier here in the bottom of the 7th to face Rivera, Matsui, and Napoli. Those are the scheduled 3 batters.
And Herod did a nice job recovering after giving that leadoff home run. Made some good pitches when need be.
Bobby Wilson's come out to the on-deck circle, so he would be pinch hitting at Hideki's spot. First at bat for Rivera, defensive replacement at the top of the inning. Juan hitting .257, 12 home runs at 44 runs batted in. Got back-to-back starts at first base. Monday, Tuesday's game. Evans accounted 1-1 here on that foul ball. Little looper out to shallow right. Joyce will put it away, and there's out number one. Brings up Bobby Wilson.
A good game for Matsui, too. 2 hits, 2 walks. A big double there in the first inning. They took the club right back and take the lead after the Rays have scored that first run of the game.
Bobby hitting .213 on the season. He started last night's game. Ended up going 0 for 3, but picked up an RBI. He's 14th on a ground out. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The ball's 2 strikes. Fernando Rodney is loosening in the bullpen for the Halos. Pitch bouncing about 3.5 feet in front of the plate, right into the chest protector of Kelly Shopik. The count goes to 1-2. And a 1-2 from Cormier is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bobby out to right. Joyce coming on. Not going to get it. Plays the one hopper. It's a base hit. 15th hit of the game for the Halos.
Well, Mike Napoli coming up here with that without the bases loaded. 3 consecutive at bats.
I'm not sure he knows what to do with himself. Double, a grand slam, a walk, and a pop-up. 6 RBIs in the game. The curveball gets away from Shopik. Now will advance Wilson. Yet another RBI opportunity here for Mike. That's the grand slam that he hit on Jeff Neiman coming into 3rd inning. 21st home run of the year. 2nd career slam. And the 5th hit by the Angels this season. Now the Rockies have made it all the way back. They lead it now 12-10 in the bottom of the 8th. Rockies and the Bravos.
Well, the Rockies have come back a couple games this year in which they were down by significant margins.
Cormier behind in the count at 2-0 here on Mike Napoli with Bobby Wilson at second base. 1 out. Action later on in Major League Baseball, at least in the American League. Oakland will be in Cleveland. Yankees taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Minnesota at Texas. The Twins having dropped the first 2 games of their series against the Rangers. The Orioles in Chicago to take on the White Sox. Seattle in Boston for game 2 of that day-night doubleheader.
Rained out yesterday. Had some rain today. They got that first one in, though. Red Sox beating Seattle 5-3 in game 1.
We got out of Boston at the right time. It was pretty good weather when we were there.
No doubt. Full count here. Reggie Willetts on deck. The Rays with 3 runs on 5 hits. They've stranded 7. The Halos 12 runs, 15 hits. They've left 9 on base. Willie Ibar comes charging in. He's retired for out number 2. Advancing to third is Wilson.
Willie Ibar coming in on that baseball. He was playing back. Almost got out of his glove. Was able to make the play. Strong throw to first and get Napoli.
Reggie's 0 for 4 in this one. Takes a fastball down and away. And will start out in center field, moving over to left. And Bobby came out of the game. Borges taking over in center. Well, the running theme in this ball game today has been the fact that there's been almost virtually every pitcher falling behind in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Herron got on a run, though, after he gave up that 2-out base hit to Reed Brignac in the 4th inning. He retired the last 7 in a row before being lifted in the 7th for Kevin Jepson. Jepson going 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. And Francisco Rodriguez getting that last out to get us to the bottom of the 7th. That pitch is down low, and it's 3-1. Reggie puts it on the ground to second. Rodriguez has got it. And that will end the 7th for the Angels. 7 in the books. Halos up 12-3.
A lot of scoring in this ballgame. It started off with Jaso going big fly second pitch of the ball game, but Matsui responds by clearing the bases with that double to right field. And speaking of clearing the bases, Mike Napoli with the bases loaded goes grand slam. It's one of a million runs so far in the game for the Angels against the Rays. 12-3 lead here in the top of the 8th inning.
New pitcher on the mound for the Halos, Fernando Rodney taking over for Rodriguez. Francisco throwing just 1/3 of an inning, getting that fly ball to right to end the 7th. Here in the 8th, Rodney will be facing Pena, Joyce, and Johnson. Those are the scheduled 3 batters. All 3 lefties. Carlos Pena in this one 0 for 3, including a strikeout. He's serving at the DH today. Crawford, Upton, Longoria, all out of the game. Once the game went to 11-1, Joe Madden making the changes and taking his regulars out. A first pitch strike. Rodney pitched Monday and 1 inning, struck out a man. No balls, 2 strikes here.
Boy, there's been a lot of souvenirs in this game. A lot of foul balls into the stands.
Yet another one there. Well, regardless of what the score is here, the Rays, Yankees, even the Red Sox will certainly make it interesting in the American League East, as well as the American League wild card. And Rodney's gone to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's going to be a great race, probably the last weekend of the season. Those potential play-in games that we saw last year, the Tigers and the Twins. What a game that was.
We've gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Yeah, if you weren't a baseball fan and you watched that game, if you didn't become a fan after that play-in game, you're brain dead.
Was that when Carlos Gomez scored that winning run, head first slide into home at the Metrodome?
Out to left center field, and Pena is on board with a hit. The double for the DH. It usually happens when you get ahead, don't put them away. It end up flipping the count back over to the hitter's favor. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and leadoff double for the Rays brings up Matt Joyce.
Especially when you have him on a defense being 0-2.
Joyce today has struck out once and walked twice. So he's 0 for 1. Talking about the American League East, I'll tell you what, the Yankees have been scuffling as far as their rotation is concerned. CC Sabathia, the only constant ever since Andy Pettit has gone down. They've struggled. A.J. Burnett has been certainly not the same guy that he was last year. Phil Hughes has come back down to earth.
And then their bullpen's going to be overused like it has been of late. You can only score so many runs before you're exposed to your lack of depth as far as the pitching staff.
In Boston, if they could figure out the injury bug and try to maintain some offense somehow, they've got pretty decent rotation. The bullpen's been okay.
Well, they tried to add some offense with Johnny Damon, but he turned down that deal staying with the Tigers.
Didn't understand that deal. Johnny had the ability to, even though he was claimed on waivers, had a no trade clause. So it was up to him as to whether or not he wanted to waive that clause in order to be claimed and or a trade to be worked out with the Red Sox. For him not to accept it, opting instead to stay with his Tigers team, who at the start of the day were 15 back in the Central.
That was odd when you think about that. You won a world championship with the Red Sox. You left to go to the Yankees, signed with the Tigers during the offseason, but then the Red Sox wanted you back for a chance to get back to the postseason. Don't think you're going to quite get back in there being down 15 games.
We'll stop and play here because some toolboxes jumped onto the field and decided to run across the right field area into leaping over the fence in center. Out of sight, out of mind.
Generally not a smart decision to make.
Just ask Joey Taser in Philadelphia.
That didn't go well for him.
Little faceplant fiesta with some voltage. Johnson swinging and missing on that first pitch. That's no balls with a strike. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Spent last year in Japan. He's also spent time with the Oakland A's. 0-2 now. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Pena with a double to lead off here, the 8th inning. Matt Joyce popping up for the first down. Johnson goes down swinging, 2 outs.
That was a nasty pitch by Rodney on the inside part. Johnson was looking for something all speed out over the plate. Instead, got that fastball inside.
Kelly Shopping steps in now with 2 outs, and Pena's still at second. They had a walk and a run scored in the 7th. That'll win today would bring the Angels to 2 games under 500 at 63 and 65. Dan Herron would pick up his 2nd win. Does it mean, does it seem like there have been a boatload of pitches thrown in this game combined?
No, it's not you. It's reality. There's been a lot of pitches.
On the ground at third. Alberto across the diamond. That will end the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Angels still up 12-3.
At the bottom of the 8th inning, visit the official online shop of the Angels at angelsbaseball.com. Browse the largest selection of official Angels gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the angelsbaseball.com shop. Lance Cormier is back out for another inning of action. He'll face 8, 9, and 1. Mathis, Wood, and Borges scheduled 3 batters. And at the top of the inning, we were talking about the pitches thrown in this game. And no doubt, there's been a lot. 306 pitches thrown in this game. 10 total walks. The Rays have thrown 162. The Angels 144. And that's through 7.5 innings.
So there's still some time.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. Cormier just now finishing up his warm-up tosses.
It's the heat. That's what it was.
The inability to throw strikes.
Sweat in the eyes. You just can't see the target being set by the catcher.
Well, how did you get through that? Because you're a guy that always seemed to work up a pretty good lather when you're out on the mound.
I just closed my eyes and threw it and hoped that somehow I would get an out.
Business person special today, 12:35 start, 37,009 in the house.
Good crowd.
Yeah. Great crowd last night to sell out at the Angels blanket, courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile.
I'm sure a number of people brought that today.
Yeah. Yeah. Curled up in front of the TV yesterday, threw the blanket on my feet, a cup of hot tea. Pretty good visual, huh?
Yep.
Cormier falling behind at 2 balls and no strikes here on Mathis.
Way to go, because you mentioned the pitch count. He's thrown 2 balls out of the strike zone already.
Mathis fouling this one back, and it's 2-1. Why is it fans sometimes when they get ready to catch a foul ball, they've got the hands up, ready to go, and as the ball comes down and is about within 2 to 3 feet of reaching their hands, they take their hands away.
Anticipating the sting of the baseball in the hands.
Oh, so to heck with everybody else who's underneath you or behind you. I'm saving myself.
I'm sure you saw that one game on the road somewhere where a boyfriend didn't catch the ball and the girl got hit in the shoulder. Didn't work out too well after that.
All right.
Nope.
That's one surefire way to get you right into counseling.
Yeah, that could get you there.
Full count here on Mathis. Jeff 2 for 4. Single and a double. Fouls this one off to the right. Oh, yeah. First row with a glove. That's how you get it done.
Underneath was like a sacrifice fly. He got underneath there, made the play, got himself a good throwing position.
That is awesome. All decked out, too.
Just went to the apparel shop and got his Angel gear.
This one out to right. See if Joyce can follow suit. So he took notes there, watching the kid make the catch. There's out number 1.
Look at that smile. That's incredible. Has the foam hand and everything.
Well, enjoy it, kid, because school starts next week.
Wow, way to make him feel good. Kids love that. Hey, back to school next week. Start singing that song. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Brandon takes upstairs from ball 1. Hey, I'm a realist. Milk it for all it's worth. You got 4 days.
Such a good guy you are, Victor.
1-0. Out to right. Two outs. There comes Peter Borges. The Grandpa, it's got to be Grandpa, right? Dad, Grandpa?
Yep.
Looks like he's doing the old play-by-play on the phone.
Trying to work out a deal. Got a lot of young players, baseball players, signing up early to colleges.
Seat of Scott Boras is down in the suites behind home plate. High chopper to third. Going to be an interesting play. Just put it in your pocket. That's an infield base hit.
And once that ball is chopped off the plate, you might as well just forget about it. Or just runs so well down the line. I think you realize that's a base hit. Quick, hands moving.
There's Howie Kendrick. 4-hit game for Howie. 4 for 5. 3 singles and a double. On the ground, make that a 5-hit game for Howie Kendrick. 17th knock of the afternoon for the Halos.
We'll get a fastball once again. This time on the inner half, and saw his last approach was on the outside part of the plate, drove to the right field. This time it's on the inner half and turns on it, gets another ground ball, base hit.
First career 5-hit game for Howie. Congratulations to him. First 5-hit game for an Angel since Kendrick did it last year. Kayaspa ahead of the count of 2 balls and no strikes. On the ground over to second. Sean Rodriguez will retire Kayaspa. And we are through 8 innings here at the Big A. The fans that have hung around, very happy. Halos up, and you got a foul ball. League's best collide as Chase Utley and the Phillies take on Adrian Gonzalez and the surprising National League West leading Padres, or the American League Central leading Twins head to Seattle to take on Ichiro and the Mariners. Coverage begins this weekend with This Week in Baseball at a special time, followed by Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Sprint at 1 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Halos up 12-3. Scott Shields coming on for some work here in the 9th. He'll face 9, 1, and 2 for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Fernando Rodney pitched the scoreless 8th inning, gave up the leadoff double to Pena, but then retired Joyce, Johnson, and Shopik. Dan Herron on the verge of picking up his second win as a member of the Angels. He would move to 2-4. Neiman takes a loss, or would take the loss.
Boy, good life in that fastball for Scott Shields.
Big games today by Mike Napoli. Career high 6 RBIs. Career high for Howie Kendrick. 5-hit game. And the hope, of course, with the off day tomorrow that guys come back, continue to roll. That's all you can do. Forget about what's happening at Texas. That's all a bonus. You just put a winning streak together. This one, of course, would snap a 3-game losing streak.
Well, we talked about how they put together one good game, and they have done that today. And then you go from that point. Put together another good game on Friday. Can't worry about, well, we got to win 10 games in a row. Well, that's not going to be able to happen if you have that mentality. You just got to try to win that night.
Napoli's got it. He'll feed Shields. 1 out. Reed Brignac finishes the day 2 for 4. There's John Jason, the catcher, who's 2 for 4 already with a home run. A double. 3 runs batted in. I really like the approach that Jason takes to the plate. That doesn't look like he's afraid of falling behind. Almost like he thrives on having a 2-strike count, as this one's lined in the left field, a 3-hit game.
Stays back very well on the baseball. Doesn't step out of the batter's box, stays where his comfort zone is, and just looks out over the plate. If it's inside, he has that ability to turn on the pitch.
Not too often you have a catcher in the leadoff spot. Kind of very reminiscent of Craig Biggio back in the day with the Houston Astros. Ben Zobrist hitless in this one, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Zobrist out to left. Reggie's there. 2 outs. Well, 1 out away of picking up their 63rd win. Doing it in grand fashion heading into that off day. Brad Bergeson, Jared Weaver, Friday night right here at 7:05. Buck Showalter and the Baltimore Orioles.
They're playing pretty consistent baseball since he's taken over. More fundamentally sound.
Jared looking to bounce back after his tough outing the last time out.
Hoping maybe we'll get 12 runs of support the next time out there on Friday. That'd be fun.
Hey guys, save some for me.
That's why it's never a bad time to have an off day if you're a pitcher the next day, because a lot of times that happens. You don't get a whole lot of runs the next day.
0-2. Out to left field, chasing Willits back. He makes the catch. It is a 12-3 victory. Light that baby up as the Angels snap their 3-game losing streak and do it in one heck of a fashion. Mike Napoli, Howie Kendrick, huge games today.
17 hits, the club's 12 runs. You mentioned Mike Napoli with the grand slam, 6 RBI. Howie with 5 hits. Only game Matsui with another big game himself. The offense responds. Dan Herron gets some runs for 6 solid innings, only 3 hits allowed in 1 run. Big victory. They needed this win. They needed these type of games to get that confidence going, the momentum, to see if they can get ahead and put together a good game on Friday and then go from that point. But Friday is the game they got to worry about. As soon as they get in that locker room, start thinking about that next game out there with the off day tomorrow.
Well, Dan Herron picks up his second win. He's now 2-4, while Jeff Neiman, the big right-hander for the Tampa Bay Rays, in his first starts is coming off the disabled list, takes the loss, giving up a career-high 10 runs in his 3 1/3. Nice job by Scott Shields. Second time he's looked well and thrown the ball well in this series against the Rays. And more importantly, you perhaps get a chance to pick up a full game depending on what the Twins do later on tonight in Arlington as they take on the Texas Rangers in Game 3 of their 4-game series. Halos win at 12-3. Let's go down to Sean Farnham.
All right, thanks, guys. Here with Mike Napoli. Mike, the offensive output today, an explosion for you guys.
Yeah, it was very nice. Put up some runs for our pitchers and took the pressure off them.
All right, let me take a look here at your career day. You had a second career grand slam. You set a career high for single-season home runs. You set a game high for RBIs with 6, and you set a new season high for RBIs. Pretty good day.
Yeah, it's a good day for me. I'm going to go enjoy this off day and get after it Friday, Thursday.
How do you turn in a game like today and build consistency so you guys go on one of your runs?
That's what we got to do. If we're going to catch Texas, we got to get out here, get after it, and get wins.
All right, Mike Napoli, congratulations on the win today. Congratulations on the big day at the plate.
All right, thanks.
All right, Mike Napoli and the Angels victorious. 17 hits, 12 runs.